Okay, we're gonna get into the real estate agents now. Not my favorite industry in this game, but they're here. Thankfully, there's some other people pushing back against the NAR right now, and hopefully they can help change the bad, unethical little loopholes that a lot of people can take advantage, and everyone did, saying that hey, 6% is our value. Where did that value come from? You know what I mean? The value came from setting a standard, and everyone just followed that standard. 6% is the standard. 6% is not the same for $1 million property, and 6% is not the same for a $1,000 property. And the workload for those two are very drastically different. But guess what? Agents still get 6%. Even though the workload and the value that they put in, the structures that they use and whatnot, the NAR structure is all there. Doesn't mean that that structure is the value that 6% agent is charging me. And again, that 6% gets split between the two different agents, which is the system currently that's getting revamped and everything. Enough on that. Go look up NAR and whatnot. Right now, real estate agents are networking, consultants, and service providers. Those are their three kind of hats or buckets of services they can provide for homeowners. So their end client is a homeowner. Again, we're going to be looking as the eyes through a contractor and how we can help a real estate agent with their pains and needs of homeowners. Which is nice because as a contractor, I also share a client as a homeowner. So there's a lot of similarities already. And you would think that there's already this connection between agents and contractors, but there's not. Trust me. And I have seen this as a homeowner and an investor also. When I go look for a real estate agent, and trust me, I've gone through many real estate agents on different properties and on the same property, where I've had to swap out 3 or 4 different agents on the same property because they are stuck in their NAR business model system of, hey, here's how we do business. Here's how the market runs. I understand that. But when you have a special asset, a 17 to 19%, 90% occupancy short-term rental company, it's not being used or being sold to that NAR market that's dominating 95% of all house sales. It's appealing to that extra 5 or 10%. That's not the end home buyer. It's an investor. Trying to get an agent out of their system and out of their perspective to do that, very difficult. So instead of getting the agents to do that, I'm going to bring them a tool, equity invoice contracts. Give them the tool to connect contractors with homeowners. Not only does this fix their need, but it also amplifies their business. On their service side, they can now add that service in there saying, hey, I can get your renovations done or your touch-ups, your repairs before you list your property, and we can list it for 20, 30, 50, 100K or more, depending on the size, the scope, the contractor, and what's the market. The beauty of this is that once we get real estate agents using this and talking about this, they'll either hop on this and just start using this as a service to connect and help homeowners because they know there's very little value of consulting. It comes on the aspect of marketing. If the NAR drops down below 80% of people using them, it's going to be a very fast climb down. And we've seen this already. NAR is now hiding their numbers about how many real estate agents are turning in their license. You can't find it. They used to publish it on their website. They're not publishing it anymore because they are losing numbers by the masses. People are starting to wake up that a real estate agent isn't a required legal requirement. It's a service. You either use them or don't use them. It's your choice. You do not have to use them. It is this culture that we have brought up that everyone thinks you have to use them. And again, if you're smart, on the business side and the investor side, we have been stuck. We've been in a pickle to where we still have to use them. Buying, we don't need to use them. We're smart enough to know the whole system, how it operates. We don't need them. We can use them as a service to help amplify our team, take care of workloads and everything. But for the knowledge and the consulting aspect, they're under investors. Investors are more knowledgeable agents are more of the boots on the ground. So they have more very in the moment prudent details of, hey, I got 50 different people in the market right now looking for a house. This is their mood, their vibe, and what they're all looking for. Investors, they're more of a kind of a bigger macro view. And even on the lower end, they got plenty of agents that they're communicating and talking to and networking with. So how are we going to use real estate agents? We're going to use them with that service provided in their tool belt, which may take some education on their side also. Thankfully, not only can we use them, but they can help us as a contractor also. And this is where the networking and where the industries all start meshing together. A contractor needs CMAs. He's not very diverse in home values. He knows what's hot, he knows styles, he knows what investors are putting in properties and whatnot. He knows what different homeowners are using and the trends that colors or people are using and everything, more than a homeowner would know. Now, he doesn't know contracts. He's a contractor. Contractors don't know contracts, I'm sorry. And you can tell me any other way, successful contract, I don't care if you're doing 50 million or plus. Again, your contract is a basic invoice contract with liabilities and quality checks and whatnot. It's not a contract like a real estate contract to where there's leverage in it. To where we're going to leverage not only our face-to-face work, but we're going to leverage our face-to-face work more than what it's worth. And how do we do that? A little thing in the real estate game we call appreciation. And that appreciation on these equity invoice contracts is what gives contractors that leverage. It gives them the keys to be investors. They don't understand and know that. Agents sort of understand and know that. A lot of them won't actually put their money where their mouth is. So probably don't use an agent that doesn't own their own home or doesn't invest in their own properties. An agent that does know those numbers, and they should, it's called a comparative market analysis. That is their consulting knowledge that they're supposed to have to give homeowners. That CMA gives you the value of the property. That value of the property is the thing the contractor needs, whether it's a time management aspect and he knows it, or if it's just he doesn't know it and he actually needs it. Or if he's in a non-disclosure state like Texas, Alaska, all those places, he's actually required to use them. You're going to need your agent license or an appraiser to work with to know the last previous home sales to find the value of the house. There's no public records in those non-disclosure states to look up those values to figure out a value. So a contractor and even a homeowner can't figure it out what those values are without using real estate agents, unfortunately, and appraisers. So even if the NIR plummets, we will still have real estate agents because for equity invoice contracts, we're still going to need them unless those 12 states decide to stop being a non-disclosure state and be more open about everything in their market so that you can find a standardization. Otherwise, it's funneling and pushing everyone in those states to use real estate agents, and it's pushing everyone to use appraisers. You don't need an appraiser. You can go sell a property with a pen and paper. You don't need a title. You don't need to go record it. If you don't trust me, just go look up what a pocket deed is. Small little things that people don't understand, but I can guarantee you it's over 80% of the real estate agents' head. Hell, it's over 80% of the investors' head. But it's there. People use it. It's just the pains that we market get so rooted in our marketing system that people eventually have it brainwashed in their head to saying, hey, this is law. I have to go do this. And whether I figure out that it's not law, I'm still hardwired in to think that the value of this system is unquestionably that I have to use it. Otherwise, I'm going to get all the pains that have already been marketed. Even all those pains we know in the world usually don't happen unless you're focusing on them. So the need of the real estate agent is those repairs for homeowners, except those homeowners usually don't have cash. hence trying to sell their property. And if they are trying to sell the property, they may need savings for the repairs that get caught on home inspections, because there's no matter any home inspection, there's going to be one, there's going to be two, and maybe 10, 50, 70, who knows. Little marks that a home inspector will make. I'm telling you, if a screw's missing in an outlet cover, if there's a nick on the wall, he's going to mark it just to make him seem valuable, like he's done something. With those issues, it causes problems closing deals faster. Whether it's for the quality aspect or whether it's for something that needs to actually get done. So if you're waiting on, hey, we can't list this property until this actual thing is fixed, hey, you're out a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever it is. If it's just a quality aspect and you just go ahead and list it and it's just, hey, this is a quality issue and not an actual repair issue, it's going to still sit there on the market longer than a fresh product. Unfortunately, everyone wants something new. That's the consumer mindset right now. There's no one that wants historic houses except older people. Older people are getting in nostalgia and they want their older houses. Right now, we don't have that. So getting on to the contractors not understanding and knowing contracts is the reason they don't push their invoices to closing. They've been screwed out too many times that they've got plenty of other contractors in the industry telling them, hey, watch out, you may get screwed because they're not going to pay. Hey, this house may not end up selling and the homeowner still doesn't have cash because the house hasn't sold and you're not going to get paid. This is a pain for contractors. This is the pain for contractors that now real estate agents have to deal with. And now that real estate agents have to deal with it, it leaves both of their clients, the homeowner, with their hands up. Help me. You two are supposed to service me. Where's my service? They can't because they don't have the structure of the documents to do it with trust and rapport and quality and security, to do it without all the issues that we've already experienced of contractors not getting paid. Not only does equity invoice contracts create that trust for everyone to use them and start communicating and talking and getting work done, it creates a market competitiveness for that agent. So if I'm a contractor, I want to go find as many agents as I want, as I possibly can. Why? Because those now are my sales reps. Not only are they my sales rep, they're my free sales reps. I can go talk to an agent, give them an equity invoice contract, and tell them, hey, I want to be your exclusive contractor that offers your homeowner clients renovations without any money out of their pocket, and I will get paid when that house closes. Now the agent may have his hands up wondering, what? How? Equity invoice contracts. We have tools of information packets for real estate agents, for contractors to give real estate agents, and real estate agents to give contractors and homeowners. And we're not leaving anyone out. We're not making just one funnel of a system for people. We're taking everyone in this industry and everyone outside of this industry and bringing them in. And we'll get to that later on the master license. But right now we'll stay focused on the industries and the people that are already in this game. So now with real estate agents, not only having clients of homeowners, but clients of contractors. And you may be thinking, oh, that's just my partner, I work with them. I'll get into later with that master license on how no, contractors are your clients too. As a contractor, I want to work with that agent and establish marketing. The real estate agent, they're used to their homeowner marketing. They have a whole system, their whole MLS system is their marketing. So don't trust every agent that they know marketing. They may be 20 plus years successful real estate agent, but they know zero about real marketing. They know a system inside their MLS system that works. Outside of that ecosystem, it's a 50-50. Contractors don't have that ecosystem. So unfortunately, they have to actually build those marketing skills a lot more than real estate agents. Even though real estate agents, that's, their whole job. Contractors a good one will normally have better marketing skills than a real estate agent. Even though that's their job, networking and marketing, a contractor doesn't have the benefit to reap off that MLS system that does the marketing for them. So it can work both ways. A contractor wants that MLS marketing system, and his only pathways is through that agent to get all those homeowners. An agent, eventually they'll get hit with the pandemic, eventually they'll get hit with something to progress their growth and learning their skills. I unfortunately am that catalyst for a lot of them for some reason. But eventually they'll get a property, they'll get a client, and they're going to have to push outside the MLS and finally start their marketing skills. And that's where we're seeing this huge decline in realtors getting out of the NAR because, hey, they're realizing I can no longer rely on this overinflated system of agents. I either have to have marketing skills outside the MLS or I'm going to be sucking a tit off the MLS and the NAR for the rest of my career. A contractor can help an agent boost up their skills, and not only that, they can actually find them homeowners. Contractor's job is to build property, not sell property. When he finds contractors have clients with other equity invoice contracts they're using for, what do you think the contractor wants? He wants that home sold as fast as possible. He's going to use the agents that help him out with his market analysis and all of his other equity invoice contracts. Not only that, just how agents use the NAR as a backbone for their whole individual 1099, they think they're single business owners, is the same kind of model and ecosystem that Wealth Trade is building. So the same ecosystem that the MLS marketing has is the same ecosystem that Wealth Trade is building with equity invoice contracts. Meaning that most of the marketing that you need won't actually be needed to go outside of an ecosystem, Wealth Trade. Wealth Trade will already have your agents in there. They will already have your contractors. They'll already have your homeowners in there searching for those contractors and those agents to help them out with their property. That ecosystem will now be the new MLS marketing ecosystem that contractors can take agents and pull them over to and say, hey, let's start using this because it actually provides a service and a value to the homeowner that they actually need. So looking at this lesson, even though I've gone over a lot of tangents with real estate agents, I just have a lot of pain in their industry that they still need to fix. For the issues that equity invoice contracts can fix for that, hopefully we can revolutionize their industry and maybe everything will get fixed, we'll see. But let's stay focused on us and seeing how we can use them to help their industry and also help our industry. Again, this is the whole monopoly game of real estate, and we're trying to better the game board of here's this new treasure chest or chance piece, that card that's in the game. You just got to pull it and you got to use it, and you can go around that board and collect $200 a lot quicker and faster. So in the next lesson, we're going to look at wholesalers, which is pretty much a real estate agent without the NAR license. And it'll be pretty much the same kind of content as in here without the restriction of the NAR. And it'll probably be less of a tension conversation just because, you know, those vocabulary words of NAR, real estate agent, license, they normally get people thinking government, and it just throws in a lot of different emotions. So hopefully, if this lesson didn't get through your mind, hopefully looking on just the civilian side without the NAR and the licenses, maybe looking at with that vocabulary, even though the models are the exact same thing, it will actually get through. If not, rewatch this lesson, and if you've butted out on any lesson and you know you didn't stay tuned in, your RAS, your reticular activating system, decided to not listen to that because it wants you to stay in your current situation because it knows you're safe in your current situation. Anything new, no matter good or bad, is not safe. It's new, it's unknown. So go back and watch all that because your RAS system probably tuned out a lot. If this is something new to you, There's probably a lot of things that you probably tuned out. Everyone needs to keep rewatching this. If you miss something, rewatch it again. If you get stuck with something, just rewatch it again, and maybe there's a little sentence, maybe there's a little tip in the 15-minute mark, in the 32, 47-second mark. Who knows? You definitely don't, because you tuned out. So, on to the next one. I'll see you guys over there. Thanks.